We are Guthman Signs, your unbiased sign specialist, and this is Whiteboard Walkthroughs, where we provide unique and tailored guides for anybody with a sign project. In this edition, we'll be talking about the most common installation types in the sign industry, a very popular topic with our clients as they try to understand what to expect and how to save dollars on their unique sign project. Sign installations are always somewhat unique, but some things remain the same. Making the right decision could mean the difference between saving or spending thousands of dollars. The main considerations for cost savings on any sign installation are local code considerations. It's always important to have a good understanding of how your project will be permitted by local authorities. Designing your project to fit within the local sign code saves time and money. Your sign specialist can provide you with deep insight into this via a preliminary code check. Electrical. New electrical service can be required depending on what you already have available at your location. This can get expensive, so it's always important to consider electrical requirements prior to making any decision. You should expect to have a clear and well-defined electrical requirement with any estimates that you receive. Mounting structures and foundations. All signs must be mounted in some way to meet local requirements for wind load and safety. It is always important to have an engineer licensed in your state to perform a sealed engineer drawing specifically for your project to be sure these considerations are met. A good engineer and sign specialist can help you discover what the most cost-effective method will be for installing your sign. Refurbishment or replacement. Many clients assume that using their existing foundation or structure will help save money, and this can be the case in some circumstances. However, refurbishing an old sign or its foundation can cost much more than a full replacement in most circumstances due to the high cost. Also, a new sign means a new warranty, which can mean significant savings should anything go wrong in the years to come. Having an unbiased sign specialist on your side is an incredible advantage when exploring these options. Competitive bidding. Make them work for your business. Obtaining multiple quotes and comparing and contrasting them can save you thousands. Find a sign specialist with a network and know-how to obtain at least 3 industry rates for your installation through vetted service providers. One of the biggest decisions you'll make for your sign project is whether you plan on a self-installation or a professional installation. Self-installation. This is where volunteers from the organization manage their own installation to save money. It is important to have the sign built to accommodate the talent, skill, or abilities of the volunteers you have. Be sure they are comfortable with the work you need done prior to manufacturing. Things to consider. Does your local code require a licensed contractor to perform the work? Do your volunteers have the right know-how to perform the work? What are the costs involved for equipment rental? What are the costs involved with necessary materials like cement, rebar, or anchor bolts? Professional installation. This is where a local service provider is entrusted with the correct installation of your sign. Things to consider. Have you obtained at least 3 quotes to compare and contrast? Do you need assistance requesting the quotes properly so there's no surprise costs later on? Are the installers you are considering pre-vetted somehow? Does your installer have the proper experience for your specific project? As you might have guessed, an unbiased sign specialist can help you work through these considerations to be sure you're planning the project in the safest, most cost-effective manner possible. Now that we've covered the most common cost-saving topics concerning installation, it's important to understand the main types of installation. There are many types of installation, but we've broken the most common circumstances down to 3 main types. Number 1. Traditional freestanding anchor bolt installation. This is what most retail sign companies impose on their customers because it's often the most favorable method of self-installations. Volunteers are often able to dig a large hole to be filled with rebar and cement. Anchor bolts are then set according to the template provided. This method can save money, but be sure you consider the expenses it will require for materials. An experienced contractor or handyman should be able to manage such a project with limited guidance. Number 2, direct bury or Caisson footer style. This method typically requires a large auger that drills a large cylinder-shaped hole in the ground per engineering requirements. A steel or aluminum pole is then set into place, concrete is filled around the pole, and the pole is leveled and set with boards. This is often the most cost-effective solution for installations due to the limited amount of materials and simplicity of the installation. This method works best when a new installation is required in an open ground situation without asphalt or concrete present. Number 3, wall mounts. Most signs can be fitted with wall gussets or angles at the back of the sign to mount to nearly any surface. For engineered drawings to be produced, you will often need to provide specifications or even elevation drawings for the existing wall to be sure the installation is planned correctly up front. The main variable is the amount of attachment points that will be required to meet the requirements of local code and safeguard the integrity of the wall being used. Now for some background information on things to watch out for when considering the options out there for installations. Number 1, companies often will try to oversimplify the installation process to convince you to perform your own installation so they can make more money on the sign and not have to provide proper service to you. Number 2, neither self-installation or professional installation are the best in all circumstances. You should review this video guide again before making a final decision. Number 3, electrical. Don't ignore the electrical requirements of the sign being proposed. Companies will often skim over this detail during the sales process. This could leave you with a large bill to pay. Number 4, make sure you get estimates of the sign and materials your project requires itemized. This isolates the two prices and allows you to make multiple factories compete for your business while forcing installers to do the same. Number 5, not all installers are the same. Only acquire estimates from reputable companies that have been vetted by an unbiased third party. Your unbiased sign specialist can help with this. Remember to ask yourself the following questions. For self-installations, does your local code require a licensed contractor to perform the work? Do your volunteers have the right know-how to perform the work? What are the costs involved for equipment rental? What are the costs involved with necessary materials like cement, rebar, and anchor bolts? And for professional installations, have you obtained at least 3 quotes to compare and contrast? Do you need assistance requesting the quotes properly so there are no surprise costs later on? Are the installers you are considering pre-vetted somehow? Does your installer have the proper experience for your specific project? Please feel free to contact us at guthmansigns.com. And hey, before you go, please take a look in the description for links to our favorite resources, videos, and helpful tips and tricks. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. We'll be posting more whiteboard walkthroughs very soon.